Hey folks, it's Mark with Fire Mountain Outdoors, and we just received a box of goodness from East Coast Arsenal. Hey, can you hear that sound? You know what it is? Stay tuned and we'll see. That's right, you guessed it. East Coast Arsenal sent us 500 rounds of 300 blackout brass and another 500 rounds of 9mm. We're going to inspect this brass and check it out and see how good it is. So come on a little closer. Well, let's first take a look at some of this 9mm. I'm just going to dump some of this out. We're going to take a look at it. See, I see a Blazer. This one's a PMC. Federal. Winchester. Some more PMC. So we got a variety of head stamps in here. The brass is all nice and clean. You know, and it's just like any time you're going to tumble it, there is a little bit of residue left around the primer cup. It's nothing that would concern me. You can see there's just a little bit of that carbon built up, but it's not obstructing the flash hole, and it's not anything I'd worry about. But if you're an anal type, you would probably just stick your little cleaner in there and brush that out. I would just run it like it is, but it's worth noting the difference between that and some brand new virgin brass. I'm gonna just stick a bunch of these up, and we're gonna compare heights with a visual inspection. So I've taken a representative sample out of the bag. I'm looking down at the primer holes, and the primer holes are all clear and uniform. One of the reasons I like to do this is I like to stick all my cases on a flat surface and then just take a peek at them and see if any stick out taller or shorter. And the reason is that you'll get some sneakers in there, some oddballs that are really close. It's pretty common for like a 380 to get snuck in here. And just doing a quick examination here, I don't see. Oh, look at there. Let's see if this guy. What's this guy? Aha! See, we had a sneaker. That right there is a 9x18 Makarov, and it's very, very similar. It's a little bit shorter. So we did have a sneaker that came in there, and this is really just to show you. You're going to find this, I think, with any kind of range pickup brass or brass that you get, and this is really just a demonstration of what you want to do, no matter what you're doing. So you can sort that out. So we did have a sneaker that came in there. That's not a deal buster by any means, but it's our obligation to let you know what we see in a review. So other than that, I would probably do that with any kind of brass that I bought. I would set them all up and compare the length or compare head stamps, just so we're not going to have a jam up or something. And it doesn't matter if I'm loading my own or if I'm buying it. I do the same step, so you'll want to do the same. So that's the 9mm. We'd want to double check all the head stamps or the heights, just like we did, and then make sure we don't have any oddball sneakers. All right, now let's check out what I'm really excited about, and that would be the 300 blackout. Now this is their all Lake City brass. You know, East Coast Arsenal has two different ways you can buy the brass. You can buy it all by mixed head stamps, or you can pay a slight premium and get the brass that's already sorted. And this is all Lake City, which is premium brass. The beauty of using Lake City and all one head stamp is that you have a uniform brass thickness and a uniform water capacity in there, which is going to make your pressures equal instead of having a bunch of random different brass. So this has all been formed from Lake City, and it will be different various years and different stamps. But I'm going to take a quick look at these head stamps and see. So far, everyone that I have checked is indeed Lake City. The primer pockets are swedged, which is nice. Let's measure them. We're just going to take 10 of these cases, and we're going to measure and record our lengths. So if we look at our measurements here, our shortest one was 1.353, and our longest one is 1.360. You know, our specs on the 300 Blackout are between 1.350 and 1.360, and all of the ones that we measured fit into those parameters. So that's a good thing. Now, the other thing you got to do with the 300 Blackout is we're concerned about where the shoulder is located. And obviously that's a hard thing to measure with a micrometer. So what we have is a case gauge. And this one is a Sheridan. This is actually a Wilson. You know, if you're going to be doing anything with 300 Blackout, this is one of the best investments that you can make. Whether you're forming your own brass or whether you're buying brass like this. You don't want to spend all the time and load up a bunch of ammo and then find out that it doesn't fit in your chamber. So getting a case gauge is a great thing. And so it's just it's kind of got a go no go groove in the back here, and then it's got a go no go spot on the other side. And it really just kind of measures the overall length, but more importantly where the shoulder is at. And so we should feel that this should be flush or slightly recessed as we go across here, and it shouldn't dip into the case gauge itself. And these are right at flush here. And I'm going to get a little feeler gauge or a straight edge to stick across there, and we will verify that. All right, folks. Hey, look at we're 3 cases in, and I found a coal. And you know, part of the reason that we're doing this is so that you can see what you can expect from getting some East Coast Arsenal 300 Blackout brass, but also to show you how important this is whenever you're doing this. The reason I got this cage is because I've made probably hundreds of cases that are coals just like this, and frankly, a bunch of them, these will shoot fine in my AR, but they won't shoot in my handy rifle. So making a ammo that is universal, that fits in all of your weapons, is the reason that we have this case chamber gauge. So why I'm calling this a coal is that shoulder is set too far back, too far close to the rim, and it has allowed the cartridge to go too far into the chamber. So here's just an audible response. If I hold that, you can hear it. I get that much slop, and you can see that it is protruding beyond the high end over here. So I've made all of my own 300 Blackout brass up to this point, and I've never bought any processed brass, so I don't have a lot of reference. I just know how easy it is to do that if the machine just got a little bit out of whack. and that's a pass. All right, so there you have it. So out of our representative sample, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. So out of 22, I had one that was a failure. Well, let's see how this converted brass from East Coast Arsenal primes. You know, these are all military brass that I have here, and one of the things with military brass is that you have to swedge the primer pockets. Now, if they were swedged too big, then the primer will be loose, and if they're not swedged enough, then you can crush the primers or they won't go in there. I like to use this Lee Auto Prime because it gives me a lot better feel than using all the compound leverage that's available using a rock chucker press. And you know, these are priming really nice. Good job on East Coast Arsenal on the primer pockets on the 300 blackout converted brass we have here. Feel really nice. Alright, now the good part. I've added powder charge to these. I'm loading up a Sierra Pro Hunter 125 grain. These are a flat base bullet. I've already set my die, and we just made some cartridges. I did notice that the East Coast Arsenal brass, the case mouths, don't have any significant burrs around the outside or the inside diameter, and there's no dings or anything, so the bullets just go right in there just like they're supposed to. So since this is reformed brass and it's cut down, that's of a big concern, because a lot of times if you're doing the cutting process, I'll leave a burr around the outside or the inside, and these have a nice surface on them. .300 blackout, 125 grain Sierra 2120 bullet. It's a nice setup. It's good brass. Alright folks, there you have it. This is a good sound. And this good shiny pretty brass. And you know, I think I can endorse East Coast Arsenal as a supplier for your brass. You know, we all lose our brass a little bit in the grass or at the range or wherever we shoot, and we're always needing some brass to reload. East Coast Arsenal has a bunch of cool options for the 300 blackout shooter, in that you can get the dinged grade B brass, or you can get the premium brass that's mixed, or you can get it sorted by all Lake City and at a very reasonable price. In fact, it's even more reasonable because they gave us a coupon code. If you enter FMO 5 off in the order form, they'll give you 5% off of your order. So make sure you enter the coupon code if you go to East Coast Arsenal. That's eastcoastarsenal.com. And if you want to email them with questions, it's sales@eastcoastarsenal.com. Or if you want to talk to them on the phone, it's 844-AMMO-USA. So if you are looking for 300 blackout brass that's already formed, it's got all the tedious work already done, I don't think you can go wrong. You know, I did have a minor glitch with the first batch that I got, but Barris at the company was Johnny on the spot on getting it corrected, making sure that I was taken care of, and let me know that is not the standards that they present, and I respect that, you know. So it's our responsibility to tell you that as a reviewer, and to let you know that they made good, and this is good brass, and I think it was a great transaction. So check out East Coast Arsenal for your 300 blackout brass needs, also with the 9mm, and they have lots of other brass that's available on their website too. So whatever you do, enter the FMO 5 off code at the checkout. And once again, thanks for watching.
On through the dead of night, with the 4 horsemen ride, or choose your fate and die. On through the dead of night, with the 4 horsemen ride, or choose your fate and die.